Everyone has their own path to success in life. Some people discover their strengths early. Others spend many years searching before they finally understand what they are truly good at. But success never comes from comparing yourself to others. It begins with understanding who you are. This is the story of a boy named David. David lived in a quiet, peaceful town. He was 12 years old, energetic, active, and full of life. More than anything else, David loved soccer. Every single day, he ran to the field, chasing the ball under the hot sun, practicing his kicks again and again until he was exhausted. On the field, David felt alive, confident, free. But there was one thing that always made his heart heavy. David was terrible at math. Each time he received a test paper covered in red marks, his chest tightened. The numbers never seemed to make sense, no matter how hard he tried. What hurt even more was his best friend, Matt, who always scored high in math. While teachers praised Matt, David sat quietly, staring at his desk. Slowly, a painful question formed in his mind. Am I just not good enough? One afternoon, David sat silently at home, his school bag untouched. His father noticed something was wrong. Instead of scolding him, his father sat beside him and spoke gently. David, he said, I want to teach you 3 important lessons. These lessons will stay with you for the rest of your life. David looked up, surprised but curious. Lesson 1. Everyone has different strengths. The next day, David's father asked him to invite Matt to play soccer. On the field, David shined. He ran fast, controlled the ball with ease, and scored goal after goal. Matt, on the other hand, struggled. He tripped, missed passes, and looked uncomfortable with the ball at his feet. After the game, David's father smiled and said, Matt isn't good at soccer, and you're not good at math. Everyone has different strengths, and that's perfectly okay. For the first time, David understood something important. Comparing yourself to others only causes pain. Lesson 2. Skill comes from practice. For the next lesson, David's father asked him to observe Matt at school. David began to notice things he had never paid attention to before. Matt was always counting. Numbers on the board, steps on the stairs, coins in his pocket. He solved puzzles, played number games, and genuinely enjoyed working with math. That evening, David told his father what he had seen. His father nodded and said, Matt is good at math because he practices it every day, just like you practice soccer. If you want to be good at something, you must train consistently. David realized that talent wasn't magic. It was effort repeated over time. Lesson 3. Love creates discipline. For the final lesson, David's father gave him a challenge. Tomorrow, he said, study math 3 times longer than usual. David tried his best. He sat at his desk, forcing himself to focus. But soon his head hurt, his eyes felt heavy. Before he knew it, he had fallen asleep over his books. That night, David apologized to his father, feeling ashamed. His father gently placed a hand on his shoulder and said, when you study something you don't love, discipline feels heavy and painful. But when you do what you love, effort feels natural. Then he added the lesson David would never forget. Learn what you love, or learn to love what you must learn. From that day on, David changed. He stopped comparing himself to others. He began to understand himself, his strengths, his weaknesses, and his potential. He worked harder where it mattered and stopped believing he was inferior. David learned that success is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. And if you ever feel behind or less capable, remember this: you are not failing. You are simply walking a different path. StoryGlow, where small stories light up great inner strength.